Hi friends, it's Carly and I am back again with another review. So today I posted on Instagram and asked which figure you would like me to review the most, either the Hydra Stomper or Surtur. And it was so incredibly close. I was working all day long, so it was really fun to check my YouTube poll and check Instagram and see what the back and forth was. And it started out hard Hydra Stomper, and then Surtur really came and picked up the pace, and it ultimately ended up on YouTube with a perfect 50-50 split for the two, but there were 6 votes to 2 for Hydra Stomper on Instagram, so that's what we're going with. But do not worry, my friends, because I will do Surtur tomorrow. I'm really excited to review both of these figures, and I won't make you wait too long to see what I think of each of them. So let's do it. Let's get started. It has been so long since I've done a review. I feel like I need to do some housekeeping first. The very first thing I want to talk about is how excited I am to be back doing videos again. And I'm doing a project here and a project on another channel. And it would really mean so much to me if you guys could go over to Fanboys Marketplace. I will link my latest video in the description and just check out my content there. It is very applicable to what I do here. It's not off the wall or anything. It's pop culture. There will be toy reviews, history, the format's a little different. I'm learning to edit, so it might be a little bit rough, but I promise I will get better. But the reason it would mean so much for me to have you guys support me over there is that Fanboys Marketplace is a local business in my area in Dallas-Fort Worth that is literally, it's set up like a convention, but it supports even smaller local businesses who sell things like toys, collector's items, comic books, magazines, just anything you can think of to collect. And I feel like right now, in my last live, I was really talking about finding stuff on shelves. The supply chain is so crazy right now. And then before the supply chain got crazy, big box retailers, we know, just don't respect the hobby the way that we do. And, there might be really good reason for that. I talked last time about Walgreens, how can we expect them to prioritize toys when they're dealing with people's life-saving medications? That totally makes sense. But I think it's just become overwhelmingly clear in the climate that we're living in now, what we should have always known is that for us to really support our hobbies and do the best that we can for our collector community, we need to support the businesses in our communities that are small local businesses that are bringing us all of the things that we love. So I hope that everybody is doing that. We're really lucky in this community to have a lot of independent small businesses that bring us comics and books and all types of collectibles. But I think now more than ever, it's really important to support these small businesses. And that's what I'm doing over at Fanboys. So I'll be posting videos there twice a week on Tuesdays and Fridays. This last video was all about Rob Liefeld, Image Comics, and Youngblood, a comic that he wrote in the 90s that was the flagship title of Image. So it's all stuff that relates to a lot of the toys and, comic book type content that I normally do. But it would really mean a lot to me if you guys could support that. And it's just additional content. I'm really hoping to do videos almost every day of the week, quite frankly. I'm super excited. I've got this whole studio to myself to set up, and I'm just ready to get at it again. So that's all I'm going to say about that for now. Thank you so much for following the link in the description and checking out my video on Fanboys Marketplace. Give them a like, subscribe to their channel, and you'll have videos from me there every Tuesday and Friday, absolutely guaranteed. What else? I don't think there's anything else that's housekeeping that I need to talk about. Like I said, I'm still learning editing, so all of these videos will be the one take you guys have grown to know and love. But eventually I will be changing the format a little bit, so bear with me. I just really couldn't wait to get better editing to start posting videos again. So here we go. The winner of the vote, as I said, was Hydra Stomper, and here he is. I am so excited to talk to you guys about this toy. Look just from top to bottom how clean and authentic to the era, to the World War II era, this guy looks, in my opinion. So I'm sort of giving away how I feel about him already, but I just feel like this sort of matte army guy green, and I think it's a distinct shade too. There's a difference between army green and camouflage green and army guy like toy green. And I really like the choice here. Whether they thought of it that way, that's how it hit me. And since this was an awesome animated character, I just really love sort of, you know, the style, everything about the way that they chose to put him together and present him that sort of paid homage to the era that the story took place in, the medium that they're presenting him in now, the cartoon. I just really, really love it. I think they nailed it by having it be this not completely mattified, but a very muted tone. You see they use really great use of high gloss detailing so sparingly that it actually really pops, even though he is basically monochrome. Just looking at this guy in the box, he was so impressive. It was really difficult to open him. He weighs a lot. I mean, this toy definitely weighs like almost 2 pounds. He's so heavy, but we're gonna talk about why that's such a notable thing. You guys know, before I get into this any further, I hardly ever talk about packages. I only open boxes in my live streams. The unboxing videos that people do, they are so great at those, but for me, I feel like I'm making too much noise. I'm not great with the plastics or whatever. But I do really want to talk about this what if packaging, because for me, I feel like they just nailed it on these Disney Plus figures. And I'm hoping to get my hands on a lot more so that I can talk about all of the Disney Plus characters. I've been a huge fan of the shows, but I really, really just love how they made use of the incredible artwork at their disposal. I mean, this is a stunning piece of imagery, and I rarely keep packages. I don't know what I intend to do with this, but I just feel like they really created a vibe with this, and I absolutely, when I received this in the mail, was blown away by the presentation just in the packaging alone. So let's go ahead and start looking at our actual Hydra Stomper. So I have all my stuff here, but I obviously missed his little paws. He does come with an additional set of closed fist hands. These are the hands that came on him. They're sort of like hulking kind of hands is what they make me think of. And then he had 2 closed fists. I put those somewhere, but they're nothing special to look at. He also came with this jetpack, and we'll take a really close look at that. I love the detailing on it. It is flexible, so it can push together like this very easily, you see. And obviously our blast accessories that we see all the time, mostly with Iron Man and yeah, so I mean we've seen this blast effect a ton, and War Machine, sorry. So those are the accessories it comes with. This jetpack being the primary of those, and then an additional set of fist hands. I'm going to take the jetpack off to show you guys what it's about. It's just a simple peg fixture here, really, really easy. But this actually comes, so this whole thing is in 5 parts. We have the 1, 2 blast accessories that go in the bottom here. We always know how those work. You could use any blast accessory that you have. So these are literally not unique. They might be a little bit longer, but I mean, they're not really all that special. We're used to seeing those. But the way that the pack itself works is that each of the jetpack pieces snaps on here. So there's this piece here with the peg, and then sort of the back, and then you get this little clip right here that snaps right on like this. Super easy. Here we go. And then these bend, I mean, you could bend them that way, but then you couldn't clip it, but they have a full range of motion, so you can put them together or spread them out across his back. And you can see that when I'm moving these, it's like crazy smooth. Keep that in mind, because when we talk about this figure's articulation, it is shocking. So this piece is just that easy to put on and take off. Once you have it together, it works seamlessly. I'm completely happy with that. And the blast effects, you know, they are what they are. They're fine. They do what they're supposed to do. But the articulation on this figure, guys, is what I have to talk about the most. This is by far and away the smoothest articulation I have ever had on a figure this size. So normally when we're getting a figure this size, it is a bath, right? So it'll be, the one I keep thinking of is the Crimson Dynamo. That was one of my favorite bath figures. I was so amped about it. And I could do a lot with him. He was great. He was heavy, he was substantial, but I posted pictures on Instagram of doing some really fun poses. He could balance, he had a great center of gravity. But it was stiff. The movements were stiff in all of his joints. If you just watch with me here, how smooth and how easily every single part of this action figure moves. His elbows are super easy. His wrists turn super easily. His shoulders go up super easily. And we've had now for a time, we've been getting this flexible armor on the shoulders, but it's like they've improved it even a step further. So we saw with Apocalypse that they had started to do these like flexible shoulder pads. That's the first one that I remember really seeing that on, but the shoulder pad itself was still pretty stiff. So you could get his arms up, but there was always sort of a tension point happening where eventually his arm would pop down. It just wasn't able to stay all the way up. Look at how high and how easily this moves. I can move it all the way up like this, and it stays, and it's popped into that position. So it's using the points, the popping points in between each position, and there's no tension, surface tension between this shoulder pad and his shoulder. There's no chance of his arm popping down because this isn't flexible enough. And they did that with this wide flexible band right here. So it was just a matter of making this tab a little bit wider and more flexible and using it as a separate piece that is affixed to the whole portion of the shoulder pad. You can see right here, it's like an insert, and then they're sort of like fused together that way. It's a little tiny difference that makes a huge difference to me. It's so significant, like the way that he is able to move so smoothly. Now, it is a little disappointing to me that he does not have any type of ab crunch. He has this really wide belt. And when I think about the character, it's been a moment since I watched this episode. I don't remember that he was really flexible in the middle. So I think that this is really true to the actual character. I feel like they really played on the time period being World War II era, and so it was heavy and like really like metal bound, and I don't think that he had like the type of flexibility of an Iron Man type suit. So me wanting that is just me wanting toys that I'm used to having, but I do think this is very true to the way the character actually was, and as much as I appreciate that, it's a little disappointing nonetheless. You can see how easily his waist turns. That's usually never an issue, and we have the same kind of super flexible, super smooth lateral lift that quite frankly goes a lot higher than I would think it would, you know? Nothing outrageous, but pretty good. And I'm really impressed with the way the knees goes. With these gigantic calves, it's always kind of a crapshoot. You really never know what you're gonna get. But even though there's a clear stopping point when it connects with his upper thigh here, the movement itself is seamless. It's flawless and it's smooth and it's easy. There's no stiffness. There's none of that creaky sound you get when they're really, really tight joints. It's absolutely perfect. And the feet are the same way too. So the feet, he's got a little bit of a toe point. You've got a little bit of flexibility. The design of the armor sort of prevents as much down toe pointing because of the heel here. But you see you can get a pretty good toe point up, and he stands with ease in a number of positions. I'll take lots of pictures to share on Instagram, but he's easy to pose. His head turns really easily. It does go all the way around without really bumping into his shoulders as much as you would think. And it's like he has like a, see? He has like a side to side lift. I don't know. I could be totally imagining things, but I can't remember having a figure that cocks its head so obviously like that. I really like it. I like the way that it looks. I feel like it gives him a Steve kind of feeling. Like, it's kind of the only way that you would know it was little Steve in there. It just gives him an element of humanity that you can create with his poses, I think, that I appreciate. I just really, really love this figure. This was probably my favorite episode of What If. I feel like they knocked it out of the park right away. So as soon as I saw this toy, I knew I had to have it. And I am not just overly excited to be back. I have to say that there is nothing about this figure that is disappointing other than the ab crunch. But like I said, it didn't really belong on this character. It is flawless. It's absolutely perfect from the color, the texture, the points of articulation, the model itself, like everything about the sculpt is beautiful. It's just absolutely perfect, and I'm really, really excited to have it in my collection. I couldn't be happier with everything about this guy. He's gigantic and just satisfying in every way. So if for some reason you missed out on the Hydra Stomper, you guys absolutely have to pick him up. He is worth every single penny, and you will love just playing with him, which these days I value that more than ever. I don't want to keep my toys in boxes. I like to take them out and have fun with them. And this is a really, really fun figure. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you've got it, if you agree with me, if you think there's anything about this guy that could be improved upon. You know I love to hear all of your thoughts, your suggestions, your ideas. I will be back tomorrow with a Surtur review. I'm very excited to do him too. These were my two biggest figs that I had sitting on the shelves, other than my Sentinel, which I will get to, but that one's going to be a little bit more in depth. I thank you guys so much for still being here. I'm excited to get started on videos again and keep doing reviews. Always give me your suggestions, your thoughts, your ideas. And for anyone who does actually make it over to Fanboys to like and subscribe and watch my videos there, I could not be more grateful. The business that they're doing is really important to collectors in my community, and any way that I can get support for them, I'm going to keep doing it because their work is really meaningful to me. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for watching my video. I'm so happy to be back, and I cannot wait to see you tomorrow when I do my review for Surtur. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back again soon. Bye, friends.